This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Now, we've been hearing it for a few months now that Showtime are struggling financially when it comes to boxing, as in they're not getting a great return for their investment, okay? And yet again, Eddie Hearn has stated this along with Bob Arum on several occasions. And yet again this past weekend, and I'll put a link to Eddie Hearn's interview in the description box for you all to go have a watch of it yourself. And it's around about the 20-minute mark, I think it is, where Eddie Hearn says that Showtime are running out of money. Stephen Espinoza is getting quite desperate with certain things. And I don't know if it's true. Personally, I hope it's not true for the American fans. Obviously, we don't have Showtime here in the UK, so it doesn't affect us one way or the other. But ultimately, it's another platform for boxing. The more platforms there are, the better for boxing fans, right? And with the PBC, of course, they have Showtime, they have Fox Sports now, and of course, they have ITV here in the UK. So even if Showtime does pull out of boxing, much like HBO did, it's not the end for the PBC. But it could well be the start of it. But Al Heyman, very, very smart guy, he's always going to have a plan B, isn't he? Or maybe Fox Sports is the plan B, maybe. So if Showtime does pull out of boxing, maybe Fox will invest more money. Who knows what it could possibly be. But ultimately, is Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum right? Don't know. We really don't know. We do know that certain events didn't do great. And I'm talking about Wilder vs Fury. Didn't do great. They didn't get like a lot of return for their money. And the kind of content that they're putting on isn't really that appealing for a lot of boxing fans. And we see it. And, you know, I see a lot of comments from Americans who say that the main event is good, but the undercard is always subpar. And I've been noticing that as well. So it's not a great thing to keep boxing fans saying, not only do you need regular content, you need good content, and that would include the undercard. In America, I have noticed that they don't do great undercards. They may have a good fight within there, but the rest of it is all just fillers, just to kill time until the main event pops up. But that would be unfortunate if Showtime do what HBO done, which is pull out of boxing. Now, Eddie Hearn suggested that HBO seen the writing on the wall and said, well, let's get out now. And that's why they've done it. But Showtime Boxing, Stephen Espinoza, is quite stubborn. He's quite aggressive, and he'll keep on fighting tooth and nail until the final days. Now, this is going to be bad news for the PBC Fanboys, the fanatical fans. You know who they are. Where they put everything, they put all their eggs in one basket. PBC, thank you, Uncle Al. Al, you're the best. Al Heyman's the best. That's what they do, okay? And now with DAZN coming into America, they are acting so aggressively. They really are. I mean, they're throwing money at fighters, and all fighters are turning their heads. And for any kind of fighter to be declining DAZN right now is not a good move for the future, because at some point, Matchroom, Golden Boy, Triple G Promotions, of course, Golovkin, he's now signed with DAZN, and with his Triple G Promotions, he's going to be looking to create a stable of fighters for himself. So he's going to be looking at some of the PBC fighters to pull on over as well. But for any kind of fighter to turn down any of these deals that are being offered to go on DAZN, long term, that is going to hurt you potentially, because there's only so many fighters that DAZN are going to allow in. There's only so many shows that they're going to put on. And if you don't get in there now, then the big money opportunities are soon going to be gone for you, and they will just concentrate all their effort on what they've got rather than what they haven't got. And a lot of fighters are going to be frozen out. Expect a lot of in-house fights for DAZN as well. But at the minute, of course, it's a free-for-all. The floodgates are open. There's opportunities, so you should do it. And of course, I'm talking specifically towards the likes of the Charlos. They seem to think that they're going to be the face of the PBC in that. And who knows, maybe they will be. But with Showtime closing down, if they close down, of course, that's worrying. It's really worrying. And for the PBC Fanboys, they've got to, listen, these guys are having a terrible, terrible time. I'm talking about the fanatics. As I said, you know who they are. Everything has been going wrong over the past few months for them. Everything that they predicted has gone wrong. Their god, their hero, Wilder, has been exposed in his last two fights. And his last fight, He lost that fight, and anybody who's honest about it knows that Wilder lost that fight. He got gifted a draw with that one. So their backsides got exposed in that one. Jamel Charlo, 154, lost to Tony Harrison. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. And if Showtime pulls out of boxing, again, that's another blow to them. They had Rigondeaux losing not so long ago as well. So everything that they go for, everything that they stand for is falling apart. And bit by bit, you'll start to see them now saying, well, we never really had a problem with DAZN. It was always Eddie Hearn. This is going to be the new narrative. Guarantee it. Keep watching these people. This is what they're going to say. Even though for the longest time, it's always been, nobody in America is going to want an app. We don't care about an app. I don't care what's happening. I ain't signing up with DAZN. It ain't going to happen, blah, 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 blah. But now they're going to start to turn it. Why? Because they need you guys to keep watching their uploads. That's why. Okay, they act very, very female. They don't have morals. They don't have standards. They act like they do, but in reality, they don't. They will not go down with a sinking ship. They jump onto the next ones. Much like a lot of people here in the UK do, where they only support the winning football team. At one time, Chelsea, Manchester United, and Liverpool, and they'll keep on jumping. But there are some hardcores who will stick by their team no matter what. And it's the same in the boxing world with these guys. They will only support what is on top. At the minute, or for quite some time, they've been supporting the Charlos. Jamel lost. Jamal arguably lost his last fight. So again, he's being exposed as well. And he's going to be frozen out if Jamal doesn't do something by moving over to DAZN. I can see it happening. They can't compete with the kind of money that's going on. So they can take it to purse bids for Jamal against a Canelo, a Jacobs, an Andrade, whatever it may be. But they're going to lose each and every time. So Jamal may as well move over to DAZN. That's just my opinion. And we could be way, way wrong on this one. But as I said, the fanatical PBC fanboys who are always, thank you, Uncle Al. Uncle Al, you're the best. Why? Because of skin tone. That's all it is. And if Showtime go down the plug, it won't necessarily be the end of the PBC, as I said, because they've still got Fox and they've still got ITV. But it could be the writing on the wall. And as I said, fully expect some of these guys who, I have my morals, I can do this and I can say that, and I ain't ever going to buy an app. And there's no way that any boxing fan will want an app. Suddenly I'm going to start getting the app and using the whole, well, it wasn't DAZN, it was Eddie Hearn, or it was Oscar De La Hoya, but now we're okay with DAZN. That's what they're going to go with. Because as I said, they've got no standards, they've got no morals. I've been telling you this for a long, long time. You watch it, watch them fold. That's what they do. But ultimately, if Showtime do pull out, that's not a good look for boxing fans, especially in America, of course, with another network pulling out following HBO. That's another network that you no longer have boxing on. People have become accustomed to watching boxing on Showtime. When you think of PBC, you think Showtime. But you're going to have to get out of that mentality soon and think PBC Fox, PBC ITV for us here in the UK. For us, the PBC is a new thing. We don't follow PBC that much, but we will now because of ITV. And ITV reaches far more people than Sky Sports and BT Sports do. It's a huge, huge network, and it's free as well for all of us. For example, Michael Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. this weekend is free for us here in the UK. Okay, it's on silly o'clock in the morning, that's for sure, but this is going to be the way forward, and I think ITV could well be the next big thing in boxing. Fully expect them. I mean, for me personally, I don't like the fact that I have to pay a subscription just so I can watch boxing with Sky Sports or BT Sport, whichever one it may be. You've still got to pay a subscription for ITV. The thing's free. Of course, they're going to have pay-per-views, but a 20 quid pay-per-view is fine compared to X amount per month just for a subscription, and then on top of that, the pay-per-view. So I think PBC have done the right thing with ITV, and be very, very surprised if Matchroom or Frank Warren or something doesn't look at these kind of networks, maybe go to the BBC or Channel 5 or Channel 4, whatever the hell it may be. So anyway, so Eddie Hearn is predicting that Showtime will soon be out of business when it comes to boxing. You drop your thoughts below about it all. click the thumbs up to this video, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.